Hi guys, welcome to Small Farmer Life. Today we're going to talk about a question I got asked, and that is why this guy can't get the land that he sees and tries to buy, and why the sale keeps falling through. Well, I'm going to tell you all about it right after this. Hi guys, so why do land sales fall through? Well, if you've watched my video on the best way to go about finding a piece of land for sale, we're not talking about going on a land agent or estate agent's website and looking for some land for sale or online. We're talking about actually going out there and trying to convince somebody to sell you a piece of land that they own. Now, you might be driving around the edge of your town looking for a piece of land that isn't getting used, or a house that might have a big piece of land attached to it, a few acres, maybe 4 acres, whatever the size of the piece of land is. Now, you approach the owner of that land, and they have never thought even of selling that land before. And then you have asked them if they wouldn't mind selling the land, and what would they like for the land, how much money would they like for the land. And they give you a price, and then you say, oh yeah, I'll pay that. But you don't have the actual capital available for that piece of land. You don't have the savings, and you haven't got it in the bank to actually keep that momentum going for that sale. Well, now you've put it into that owner's head of the land that they could sell that piece of land and get so much money for it. Now, you could take time getting the capital together for that piece of land, and time is a killer when it comes to land sales, because that person who never even thought about selling that piece of land, now they're approaching land agents and estate agents, and them estate agents and land agents are telling them to actually put an uplift clause on it, or some sort of covenant and restriction restricting you from doing what you want to do. Or if you're going to turn it into a farm, maybe you want to live on it in the future, and now it's got an uplift clause on it, so you don't want to buy the land now because it's got that sort of thing on it. But that was because you didn't have the actual capital ready to make sure you kept pushing the sale through. And another thing that stopped sales is you didn't download the title deeds for that piece of land. What you need to do, soon as somebody says they will sell you a piece of land, is go onto the land registry website and download the title deeds, because the title deeds for the property and the piece of land, because they'll probably be attached together, the land and the actual home that the person who's willing to sell you the land. And if they are, even if they're not, it might be away from the home, the piece of land, you can still get the title deeds for the actual piece of land. And in them title deeds, it'll tell you everything you need to know about that piece of land. Does it have money owed on it? Is it got uplift clauses or restrictions on it? Has it got covenants on it? You know, these sorts of things you need to know about, because you don't want to find these out when you're ready to put pen to paper. You need to know straight away, so you're not wasting any time. And if you don't have the money and the capital ready, then that person might find somebody else who is willing to buy the land, because you've put it in the head now that selling that piece of land is a great idea, and they have got no loyalty to you whatsoever. Or even worse, you have got excited, you've actually got the money in your bank ready to buy the piece of land, you've got excited about it, you're going through the motions of buying a piece of land, like you've gone to see your solicitor, they're going to see their solicitor, and you've opened your mouth and told people and told friends, they've told other people, and somebody else goes to the actual seller and offers them more money. That can happen, and it has happened lots of times where they've been offered more money, but nobody even knew that land was for sale until you told people, and then that is going to scupper you into buying that land. Or you go back to the seller and then say, what's going on? And the seller says, well, I've been offered £20,000 more, can you match that or pay more than that? And if you've only got a certain amount of money, well, that's why it'll fall through for you, because you don't have the amount of money they're asking for, or you're not willing to pay that amount where somebody else might be willing to pay that amount. Other things that can stop you from buying land is going and talking to local people, because some local people have their own idea for that piece of land. They might be thinking, I wouldn't mind that piece of land. Like the locals for around this piece of land that I own, the people who were going to buy this piece of land, and there was about 12 who looked into it, because the guy had a big for sale sign up the front. It wasn't from a state, it was just something he made up himself. So loads of people knew this land was for sale. But the neighbours, all the people went to the neighbours, and the neighbours said it didn't have a right of access, vehicle access. And even one of the people put in for planning permission for the stables I'm sat in right now and paid £720 for the planning permission, and believed the neighbours that it didn't have a right of access for the land. But to get planning permission on a piece of land, the council will only grant it if you have a right of access. So the council got their solicitors on the case, and their solicitors found that the guy who sold the piece of land had the right to grant access for anybody who purchased the land. I found that document by doing a quick search of the planning portal of my town, where everyone else didn't bother doing that. So research is key, because that's going to tell you everything you need to know about that piece of land. So you need to have the money ready to purchase the piece of land. Keep your mouth shut. Don't be telling anybody that you found a piece of land that somebody's willing to sell, because they could steal it from underneath your nose. And try and do it as fast as possible by just using your solicitor and their solicitors. And other things that can stop a land sale from going through, and that's not checking if it's in a flood zone, because you might not find this out until the last minute. You might visit it just a week before you're going to sign the papers, and it's been raining for a couple of days, and the field is full of water. But you could have found this out by just doing a quick search on the internet of your local town's flood zones, because it's all like online now, because mortgage companies want to know when somebody's purchasing a house, is it in a flood zone area? So you can find out where the local flood zones are by doing a quick search on the internet. And another thing that kills land sales is trying to negotiate the price too low. You should know the price of land in that area. And it's another thing you can do online. All you've got to do is a quick search of what land has been sold for in that area, and then determine what you're willing to pay for that piece of land and what the seller should be selling it for. Now, you can't look at land that could be 100 acres and think, well, that's sold for £600,000, then it's only £6,000 an acre. Because if you're buying a piece of land that's only 2-3 acres, then the value goes up, because pieces of land that small very rarely come on the market, and if they do, people who've got horses and things like that normally pay £12,000 to £15,000 per acre for the land. So you can't judge a 100-acre plot sale the same as a 2, 3, 4 acre plot sale. You've got to do it of what small pieces of land have sold for. So that's what you need to be looking at. Don't be trying to say to the owner, I'm only going to give you £6,000 an acre or something stupid like that, when it could be worth a lot more. They'll just tell you to go away or whatever. So that can kill a land sale, by trying to just nickel and dime the actual landowner. So you don't want to be doing things like that, because they're going to talk to people and know what land's going for. And because obviously, if you're going to sell a car, you do research on what the car would actually sell for. They're going to do the same. But you need to push yourself through, so they'll understand that what they can get for the value, you understand what you're going to pay for it, and then as soon as you start pushing it through, you made sure you've done your searches, you haven't told lots of people that you've found a piece of land for sale, they haven't spoke to anybody to put any uplift clauses on it, that sort of thing. And the faster you get that sale through, the better it is for you. All you've got to make sure you do is the research, and if you can do all that and the research comes back that yeah, it's a good buy for you and there's no problems with the actual purchase of the land, you need to get it done as soon as possible. But that's some of the biggest reasons why land sales fall through. Like the person who's looking to buy it doesn't have the money, or the seller sells it to somebody else because somebody else offers them more money, or they speak to an estate agent or a land agent. They try and convince them to put uplifts on there, and then the actual buyer doesn't want to purchase the land no more, or the buyer goes and speaks to locals and the locals put the buyer off buying the piece of land. All sorts of things like that stop land sales from going through. Anyway, guys, that's why most land sales don't happen, and that's why you can get scuppered if you're trying to find a piece of land to actually buy yourself. And guys, keep your mouth shut if you do find a piece of land or convince somebody to actually sell a piece of land. I'm telling you, really, zip it. Until next time, guys, if you want to watch more videos on all sorts of things from marketing a farm and business to permitted development rights and everything in between, then why not hit the subscribe button? It's your choice. You can do it if you want to. And if you want to be notified of all them upcoming videos, then hit the bell button. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And until next time, guys, my name's Craig. You've been watching A Small Farmer Life. Take care of yourself, and most of all, take care of the family. Bye for now. See you.